Oh my god. What a mess. I like this song. We'll let it go for a little bit. Can you guys imagine the mess we're fucking in right now? All right. Welcome back to Dutch and Denver podcast. I am Dutch. I'm in and around Denver. You know, I have my things going on. I am back from a little bit of vacation. Again, headed up to the mountains and did what I had to do. It was nice. Weather was great. Let's see, had some good food, hung out with the dog, went down the river. He's getting so good at swimming. I mean, really good. Like, these are rivers. These aren't like your backwoods, like slow trotters where you get that mud catfish from. These are rivers. High mountain rivers. Super fast, real cold. Dog's getting better. He's real good against sticks. That was awesome. So yeah, I was on vacation and the world was coming to an end. Oh, Dutch, what do you mean? You haven't paid attention, but don't worry, I'll share it with you. The United States is no longer a superpower. We're just a bunch of pussies run by Democrats. But first of all, we'll get to that in a second. I am not a huge fan of people who can't fucking drive. Drives me crazy. Again, the mountains are like normally hour and a half, 2 hours for me. But since no one can figure out what the fuck they're doing, it's turned into like 3 hours. You have a giant truck because you're 5'1", you have your big diesel, and it can't go fast. Move. I'm not talking about semi trucks because they're actually pretty good. They get over. This guy's just in the fast lane. But next to me, is another car who is going slow, or truck or something. I don't know where I'm going with this. These people have been hit in the face enough. Like the guy in the little diesel who's, 5'1", like, I'm tall, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, nerd, move. Because if I follow him home and he gets punched in the face, and then later it's like, hey man, I had to hit you in the face because you're horrible at driving. And this is why. Then I explained to him, like, when we were on the highway and the speed limit was 65 and you were doing 64 in the left lane when you should be doing 80. Yeah, this is why. So that's one time he gets bloodied up. He's like, whatever. That guy's just an asshole. But then somebody else falls and kicks his ass and tells the same thing. So I'm thinking maybe after like the second or third time he learns his lesson and doesn't drive like a moron anymore. It's like, bullies. Like if you stand up to a bully and you hit him back, you're good. I think we should do that with horrible drivers. Like we've done my paintball thing, remember? I think everyone should have a paintball gun in their car. And you're only allowed to wash your car once a week. So, like Friday comes around and somebody in front of you has like their car's covered in paintballs. That person is a complete and utter moron. And you should probably get out of their way or go physically assault them. I'm not saying you should actually do that though, but maybe you should. Okay. So for anyone who hasn't been paying attention, I know this might come late, but again, I'm on vacation. I don't give a shit. I don't have a podcast set up for vacation. But here it is. And I think I touched on this last time, but what is happening in Afghanistan is I mean, I want to say clusterfuck, but I'm not sure that there are words in spoken language that can define what a complete fucking mess this is. And this is where it gets good. I might be the only one who's going to say this. It's not Biden's fault. Head blown. All right, let's start with what happens. Okay, so the United States of America has been in Afghanistan for like 20 years, trying to calm those crazy sons of bitches down and introduce democracy, whatever, to that country. And I mean, maybe it was going okay. I mean, from the pictures I saw, there were pictures of women outside salons and stuff that weren't covered up with burqas from head to toe. A lot of the younger generations were not wearing burqas outside. If you guys don't know what burqa is, it's the sheet they wear over themselves so no one can see any part of a woman. Which, God, we're gonna get in trouble for this. But this is gonna be a big part of this. So if you're not interested, stay anyway, because you might learn something or form a different opinion. Okay, but it seemed like they were coming around. Slowly, not very surely, but I mean, we weren't like under psycho Sharia law. And then the United States, I don't fucking care who you want to blame. Trump, Biden, doesn't matter. Our plan was to get out of Afghanistan. That was it. Trump's no longer president, so it doesn't matter what his plan was. Who fucking cares? Let's talk about what Biden's plan was. And I'm going to say Biden's plan, but again, I don't blame Biden, and I'll get to that in a minute. Biden's plan was, and I don't care what you say, if you believe differently, you're wrong. Biden's plan was to take the military out of Afghanistan, let the Taliban take over, and leave all the civilians there to just get fucked. And if that wasn't his plan, that's exactly what happened. So the Taliban, let's say a capital city. It is. But let's say it's in the middle. It may not be geographically in the middle, but let's say it is in the middle for this purpose. Everyone is closing in, like the Taliban's closing in from all sides. Okay, they're taking over, blah, 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 all this stuff, and they're closing in. And Biden's plan is to get the military out of there and just let the Taliban come in and fuck everybody who's left. And I literally mean that. So that's exactly what happened. But like I said on the last podcast, I think I did. Like in July, somebody was like, "Hey man, so if you get out of there, do you think the Taliban is gonna like show up and take over?" And Biden's like, "Nah, it can't happen. There's no possible way that happens. We've got 300,000 highly trained Afghani troops that are ready to repel that Taliban." And 1 month later, it didn't happen. The Taliban just fucking took over and started fucking shit up. So let's talk about that for a minute. Those 300,000 Afghani troops that they had, it turns out they actually didn't. These were tribe leaders. I mean, we call them tribe leaders, warlords, whatever you want to say. That the United States government went to and be like, "Okay, you're going to defend?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah. How many people you got?" "I got 50,000. The United States government's like, "Oh, okay. Here's $1 billion. Well, it turns out they actually didn't have 50,000. They maybe had 5,000. And we didn't verify that. We were just like, "Yeah, okay, here's your money." So the guy took his money. He pocketed most of it. He might have shared it with some of his 5,000 troops and all that. But when really shit hit the fan, they didn't do much. But they had $1 billion, so why would you? Like, if somebody's dumb enough to just hand you a bunch of money and not verify any of your information, like, Christ, I had a right by it and be like, yeah, I'm a Afghan warlord and I'll defend the country. Send me $1 billion. I got 10 million people. Turns out it's just me and my dog. But they're not going to verify. So now me and my dog have $10 million. We're hanging out and, wherever we go, because I'm not going to tell you guys because I'm a warlord running. But that's how that went. Well, that's how part of it went. The other part is like, this is a fundamental thing of, I guess, extraction, if that's what we want to call this. Because, don't get me wrong, I'm totally in favor of getting the fuck out of the Middle East. I think our new Middle Eastern policy should be like, okay, you guys do your thing. You duke it out. I don't give a shit anymore. But here are the ground rules. If you mess with us, it will literally be all over for you. Ask fucking Japan. That is what's going to happen to you on a scale that you've never seen before. So yeah, if you want to be crazy and do that, fine. Just don't mess with us. And unfortunately, at this point, we have to go to Israel and be like, okay, you guys, you have to deal with this now. The countries closer need to deal with this. Europe, Eastern Asia, you guys deal with this stuff. We're not doing it anymore. It's not working. We're terrible at this. We suck. Our politics are too fucked up. We got to get our own house right. And then we can maybe deal with yours in years to come. But we can't do it right now. We're sorry. This is a horrible failure. It's time to leave. We got to get the fuck out of here. And just know this, that if you mess with us, we are going to fuck your world up in ways you never thought humanly possible. And if there's collateral damage, so be it. Now, I know that'll never happen because that's not diplomatic and that's not the way that the world works, but it's the way that the world should work. There's not enough bullies. There's not enough people just laying down the law and being like, look, I don't care what you think, feel, or anything. I'm bigger than you are and we're doing things my way. And that's what I think the United States needs to do. But we can't because we're too fucking worried about our pronouns. And that is, yeah, we're too worried about, shit that actually doesn't matter or isn't even real and is made up and blah, 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 and all that crap. So, yeah, we decided to get out. Reasons, doesn't matter. But when you extract from a country, and I have this on good authority from veterans and things like that, what you do is you get all the civvies out, all the civilians out, get them out. You get as many of the people that you can that are not United States citizens out that want to leave. But you can't get them all. I mean, you get all the U.S. citizens. That's fucking, yeah, that's what you do. Now, some Afghanis want to come. You try your best. Once all that's complete, then the military gets themselves out. And once they're done with that, they get some jets and bombers and they literally annihilate everything they've set up. Like, if you left helicopters or a stand-up base or something, just blow it up. Get rid of it. Don't give them any advantage. What actually happened is the Biden administration thought, okay, let's do this ass backwards. Let's get the military out of there. And we'll see what happens. Because, I mean, let's face it, the Taliban's reasonable. They have a long track record of being reasonable. So let's pull the military out. And, and then everybody else can just hop on a commercial flight and they can get out of there. And, if some of the Afghan citizens are not super happy with the Taliban running them, they can leave too. And we'll just, we'll give them visas and everything will be fine. Because again, I mean, the Taliban has had a pretty good track record of being reasonable, nice, logical, all that stuff. Right? So let's just do that. It turns out, though, that the Taliban was not exactly nice, reasonable, logical, any of that. They've turned it into a clusterfuck with the help of the Biden administration. So what actually happened is we took the military out and we left all the civilians to fend for themselves. And it didn't go well. So the Kabul airport, and I know you guys have seen the videos. I'm not going to show them. I will kind of describe them, but I mean, it is Saigon. You have like people hanging on to the bottom of helicopters and shit like that. Um, Not great. You also have much, much more graphic things happening, like people hanging on to the side of a C-17, C-130, I don't know, a big cargo plane, and falling out of the sky from 12,000 feet because they can't hold on to the outside anymore. You have video of a body caught in the landing gear trying to stow away who didn't make it. I want you to think about that real hard. Imagine that the prospect of the country you live in is so unbelievably fucked up that your ass is willing to hold on to the wing of a C-130 for as long as you can just to get the fuck out of there. There aren't Mexicans and South Americans and Central Americans that go to those lengths to get to America. And we're told their countries are horrible. That's why they're all coming here. Imagine the place where you live is so terrible that or it's going to be so terrible that you would risk your life, and not like crossing the Rio Grande, but you would literally hold on to the wings, the landing gear, anything you can on the exterior of a goddamn military cargo plane to get the fuck out of there. But I know Biden thinks that we can negotiate with these people and that it's going to be okay. MSNC, all these guys, like the day that this was going down, their headlines were like the president of Afghanistan's, like the peaceful transfer of power. This is the insanity that's currently going on. I mean, I'm okay with words, but I can't put into words currently what's happening and the amount of fucked up this really is. We're gonna try though, because we got some time left. So again, imagine that you live in a country that it's not great, but it's not. You're not strapping yourself to the outside of a plane to get the fuck out of there. And then all of a sudden, the people that are making this country, not a shithole, decide we're going to leave and we're going to do it ass backwards because our president is an old man with dementia and has no idea what the fuck's going on. And your last hope is to literally grab on to the wheel of a C-130 to get the fuck out of there. Imagine that level of desperation. You can't. Because you're a liberal. You're more worried about wearing a mask in school and pronouns and that shit than your booster shots. So this is actually a real world problem. Pronouns are not. Nobody gives a shit. No one actually cares that much. It's just the way that they've gone about forcing them on us is wrong. But nobody really cares. I'll call you whatever you want. You don't gonna be pissed about it though if I mess it up though, because if you want to be called like a puppy self, I can't remember that all the time. Politely remind me. Who gives a shit? But this is a real world humanitarian issue. This can even be globally, because if you think for 1 second that China and Russia aren't going to be like, yeah, Taliban, go ahead. You do what you want. Well, I mean, we'll work with you. We're also horrible savages. Dutch, the Chinese aren't. They're savages. I think it's the Uyghurs, right? What are they doing to them? Oh yeah, actual fucking slavery. Modern day slavery. And I know it's not funny, but yeah, the Chinese government are a bunch of goddamn savages. The Russian government, yeah. I mean, there's lots of examples. I won't go over them now because you have the internet. Well, actually, I probably should go over them because what you'll do is, and this is only for the liberals. I'm talking to you guys for a little bit. You should go to like CNN.com. There's nothing about Russia's okay. There's nothing. Wait, Russia's we love communism. What the hell? We love Russia. We love China. Let's do this. But I mean, let's face facts. The Chinese government is a bunch of savages, as well as the Taliban. These guys are batshit crazy savages. And for the United States government to just be like, yeah, man, I mean, shit happens. Let's just, I mean, go ahead, impose all this stuff and horrible blah, 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 blah. And then people are literally like falling out of the fucking sky trying to get the fuck out of that country. I mean, that's a problem. Now we can get into details. Oh, this is fun. It's not fun. It's fucking horrible. But y'all need to know this. First of all, I don't blame Biden. I honestly do not blame Joe Biden. He is an old man who is suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever you want to call it. He literally does not know what's going on. He doesn't know where he's at. He has no idea what's happening around him. It's unfair. Okay? Who I blame partly are the Democrats who installed him. If you voted for Joe Biden, all of this Afghani blood is on you. You were so butthurt over mean tweets, great economy, and the best this country's ever done that you voted for a poor old man who has no idea what's happening. The Afghani blood is on your hands. Well, the blood of COVID's on Trump. No, it's not. You're dumb. Stop using COVID. We'll get to that in a minute. This is 100% your fault. You knew this man was not qualified. You knew this man was suffering from dementia or whatever you want to call it. You knew this. You just were so fucking adamant about getting Trump out of there that you didn't care what happened. And now the worst has happened. This is the worst. There is nothing worse than being so desperate to get out of a situation that you climb onto the landing gear of a plane, and when you can't hold on any longer, you fall out of the fucking sky at 12,000 feet. This is on you. Now, I know you won't take responsibility for it because you're a little bitch. You're a Democrat. And you're more concerned with pronouns and, rent, blah, blah, and wear my mask. Okay? This blood is on your hands. You know who else hands are? Every single Republican who has any kind of power. And this is another thing you're not going to hear. And I did a little tweet storm, I don't know what you call it, a feed, a thread about this. The Republicans are just as much to blame as the Democrats. For years, the Republicans are the party of bad ideas. The Democrats have no ideas, but somehow they still get in power because the Democrats or the Republicans don't do anything about it. And we don't, or they don't. I'm not a Republican, I'm a conservative. But this is your fault. You allowed this to happen. What do we do, Dutch? I don't know, man. This is not my area of expertise. You do not let these psychos get in power. And the Republicans let these psychos get in power. And they really are psychos. These are crazy people. Okay? Today's left in America are psychotic, crazy people. That's it. They are riding the streets and burning shit down. They're going on about a virus that is just gonna do its own thing. They're fabricating facts daily. The mainstream media, which is the left, is just making shit up as they go along. We're praising men for having babies, which is not actually a man, it's a woman who's pretending to be a man. You're still a woman because you had a baby. Okay, this is the shit that we have allowed to happen. And then when actual shit happens, it's completely fucked up. I mean, is there any surprise at all? Is anyone shocked? Like I'm a little shocked it went this badly, but duh. So the blood is on everyone's hands because you all are complete fucking morons. That's it. You all are so out of touch with reality and worried about your own bank account. It's about money, clearly. That you, even all the Republican, that people are like, oh, but DeSantis, and he let it happen. Rubio let it happen. Trump let this happen. If Trump would have just shut the fuck up and gotten off of Twitter, Biden wouldn't be here. Yep, that's it. All of this blood is on y'all's hands. Now, no one's going to give a shit, and that's the sad part. Is that, CNN, MSNBC, all the liberals, they harped on Biden for like a couple hours. Because let's face it, his speech about it, granted, okay, let's talk more about this. The whole administration was completely MIA during this. Not available for press, just completely fucking MIA. And when they finally are available, with Biden at least, he gets up there and he makes the dumbest speech he could possibly made in his fucking life. And he's had a lot of dumb ones. But yeah, he blamed literally everyone but him. Literally everyone. And he's the one that tweeted out and said 100 times, I'll take responsibility and I won't pass the buck and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's exactly what he did. And no one's going to call him on it. And the people who will call him on it, either A, don't matter, or B, won't do anything about it. Because, like, I mean, let's be honest, I don't matter. What am I actually going to do besides vote differently next time? And I will do my due diligence and I will try and convince people differently. That's why I have this podcast. Hopefully, a bunch of people listen. And it's your duty to share this because this is one of the more serious ones that you should share with your friends. And yeah, there might be some rambling and some drinking and stuff, but the point is there. The point is valid. But I mean, this is incredibly important. The Biden administration essentially let an entire country get slaughtered by savages. Not a good part, but a portion of it is American citizens. This is as bad as it possibly could get. And it's all being downplayed and, moved over and moving on. He gets up there and, like I said, his speech, he blames everyone but him, which it's 100% your administration's fault. Because again, it's not Biden. Biden's not actually doing anything. He's a poor old man who's completely lost and has no clue. Whoever's pulling the strings needs to be crucified. But it will never happen because it's the left. They get away with murder all the time. But this is incredibly important. This is a tragic situation of unbelievable failure. Unfathomable failure on the part of the United States government. The most powerful country in the world can't get their own citizens out. Think about that. That's a real hard fact to swallow. And then furthermore, they're happy with just laissez-faire. Like, yeah, we'll see. We'll negotiate with them. No, we won't. They're savages. Oh, Dutch, now you're saying horrible things about Muslims. No, no. The Taliban are fucking savages. Now, I understand that the Muslim religion is a little bit, however you want to say it. But beating the shit out of people outside the Kabul airport who want to leave, probably not a great look. Torturing, murdering, executing women who don't want to cover their entire bodies, not a great look. Oh, but it's just a cultural thing, Dutch. It's a different part of the world and cultural. Yeah, I know, Democrat. Cultural. It's cultural. I mean, murdering women and children and all that because they don't want to. It's cultural. Fine. They're just culturally different. Okay, well, if you have a culture of psychopaths, you probably should do something about that. Like the Nazis were culturally different. They were dealt with. These people don't have nearly the power or anything like that, but I mean, they're not far off. I mean, I think CNN said they were like chanting death to America, but they seemed peaceful. Yeah. It seems super fucking peaceful. Jesus. It just I'm lost with the amount of insanity and to the degree that it is. I mean, it is just it's nuts to me how the left can still justify and guys, we are 7 months into this shitstorm. Biden's only been president for 7 fucking months. And he's got the goddamn world ending in the Middle East. And it's all his fault. Again, when I say his fault, I mean his administration, because he's literally a puppet. Again, the old man has no fucking idea what's going on. But it's crazy because the liberals will do backflips and be like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. They'll make every excuse in the world for a literal human atrocity that's happening. Oh, it's Trump's fault. Trump's not fucking president anymore, okay? Stop blaming him for shit. Well, Trump made this policy. Okay, well, do something different. Well, I thought it was honored. Trump. Shut up, nerd. You repealed all of Trump's policies. And your implementation was do nothing. Let's let everything go to fucking hell. I mean, yeah, what do? We do absolutely nothing. Because we are so far fucking gone that it's unbelievable. And then today, he gets up there and does a speech about a booster shot. Oh my God. I don't care what you think about COVID because the propaganda is enough, okay? No one believes it any fucking more. So just stop talking about it. Which I'm working on something. I have a very special guest. This will be top secret. She'll be shielded, her voice will be changed. But it'll prove how nuts this COVID crap is. That's one person, Dutch. Well, yeah, that's all that matters. Because if we're Democrats, if it's just one life, why don't we just change it if it's just one person? But yeah, I mean, the guy gets out there and talks about booster shots today. Nobody fucking cares. We have an actual human crisis happening in the Middle East right now, and you're up here like, well, get a booster shot. Maybe, kind of, probably. I don't know. Wait, what? Some people have only had this vaccine for like a couple months and they need another booster shot? That didn't sound like a vaccine. I just keep saying it. Oh, okay. Shit like that. I mean, God. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Excuse me. Okay. So we're gonna continue to hit on some more of this stuff, but let's see. For instance, we're checking out some tweets here about just the insanity that's happening and the again, what's happening is unbelievably horrible. And the current administration is just like, hey man, look over here. And everybody's like, oh, okay. And they want to forget about this. This is not something you forget about. This is some, and I don't like Biden. Actually, Biden's probably fine. He's a crazy old man. I don't like his administration. If one of them would just take responsibility, I'd love you. That's all I want. Like they had a, was it the second defense or somebody got up there today? Like I said, he's like, hey, we sh- we don't have the resources to get all the Americans out of Afghanistan. And again, like I said, you're the most powerful country in the fucking world. If you can't get your own citizens out of a citizens, okay, not military personnel, we're talking citizens. If you can't get your own citizens out of a hostile war environment, what the fuck use are you? Honestly, you're not a superpower anymore. You're a little bitch. You're a Democrat. I mean, there's much more to say about this. I'm sure it will develop as it comes, and uh, it won't be good. I can tell you that. I mean, it's really also like now it's not good. It's really, 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 really fucking bad right now. But nobody cares. And again, I'm still looking for my liberal. Where is my person on the left? Anyone who can come defend these actions. You can't say but Trump either. That rule still exists. But I mean, do you regret voting for him now? Do you finally see what everyone has known forever, that Biden is a career politician who's completely, utterly useless? I mean, again, he's been in politics for 150 years. The guy's useless, and you just were so butthurt by the mean tweets. Oh, speaking of tweets, sorry. Well, I'm not changing subject. I'm just adding this. The PR guy for the Taliban, I think that's what we're gonna call him, spokesman. I don't know. He's got to have a busy fucking job. Imagine being the PR guy for the Taliban. Oh, the Taliban just murdered a bunch of women today because their faces weren't covered. And that guy's got to get up there and be like, well, yeah, they did other stuff too. What other stuff? Eh, not good stuff. Well, how bad was it? It was pretty bad. So why'd they execute? Their faces weren't covered. I mean, shit. Fuck. Damn. I don't know. Imagine having to be that guy and like justifying the crazy to the rest of the world who's not crazy. Like to be Hitler's PR guy, you pretty much just had to like justify it to the Germans who were already like brainwashed and on board. But you know, because I guess we're negotiating. But yeah, imagine being that PR guy. It's like, yeah, fuck. Oh, we are murdering people in the streets. Ah, yeah, they deserved it. Why? Uh, we'll circle back. Again, not funny, but kind of funny. Okay, so the point is that the Taliban's PR guy or like spokesperson, I don't fucking know. He still has an active Twitter account. Donald Trump doesn't. Think about that. It now, I will admit, if you're so unbelievably insane that you're buying the crap that CNN and all these guys are pushing, that the January 6th nothing, those people are equal to the Taliban, you're lost, and this isn't for you because you are so far gone. Fuck you. Okay. But if you think for one solitary nanosecond, and this is only for people who disagree with Trump, but if you think for one solitary nanosecond that Trump was even remotely close to the level of evil, quotes, that the Taliban is, you also are off your fucking rocker and should never be heard from again. Just bite down on the pill and get out of here. But the social media gods that you love so much for their censorship, is it called censorship or is it called, nope, censorship, yep. They let the spokesperson for the fucking Taliban, the savage wackadoodle Taliban, that guy has a Twitter account. Trump doesn't. Think about that. Think long and hard about that. And if you're struggling with your pronouns and your gender identity and all that shit, do yourself a favor and grab a piece of paper and a pen. I hope you still know what paper and pen is. Or a pencil. So you can erase it and make a list. And on one side, write Trump. And on the other side, write Taliban. And I want you to write down the atrocities you think Trump did and the atrocities that you think the Taliban did. And send it to me because I'll correct it for you. Because Trump never once created an atrocity. The Taliban has created many. I want you to do that for me. I also still need my liberal. So again, if you have any liberal friends that are willing, we can hide their face, change their voice, whatever. Because that's what you have to do with these people because they're ashamed, or they should be ashamed of the stance they've taken on this. But yeah, blood's on your hands. Again, that's crazy to me that Trump's Twitter is gone. But the guy, the savage Taliban dude, he's fine. He's still tweeting out crazy shit like "Death to America." And Twitter's like, okay. I mean, that's not. What are our community guidelines? Was he Republican? No. Let it go. Think about that. You did this, Democrats. This is all on you. Because tonight the world is a nicer place. Trump is not tweeting any horrible things to the Taliban. They're murdering a whole bunch of people and kicking the shit out of them. But you know, you're safe as your pet self or your idiot self. It's okay. Everything's good. Mission accomplished. God, you guys are fucking retards. Okay, what else should we talk about? Oh, we got a lot. Okay. I mean, I don't have anything left. Like, there's other stuff, but this is so bad, and I don't feel like enough attention is being paid to this on both sides. Like, even the Republicans, you know, like I said earlier, they're over there, like, tearing this apart, but what are you gonna do about it? Nothing, because you're a little bitch. And the Democrats don't care, and it's just, I mean, it's a very sad, like, I'm a little bummed about all this. Like, I was fired up, but I'm just bummed to see America being the biggest little bitch in the world. And, you know, half the country's okay with that because they feel safe because Twitter's not mean. And the other half of the country is just talks and literally does fucking nothing. It's embarrassing. It is absolutely shameful. I'd even like a prominent Republican. Again, I'm a small podcast. Nobody's actually going to come on here. But I'd love to talk to any Republican in power, like a congressman or even a state Like, hey man, so what are you doing about any of this? Oh, I tweeted a lot. Okay, awesome. Good job. Oh, I fight the vaccine. Okay, awesome. Great job. So basically, fucking nothing. All right, so yeah, even now I have an open invitation to any Republican with any a little bit of power. Let's say any elected Republican, and I'll do my diligence. I'll reach out to him, be like, hey man, I voted for you, and I want to talk to you, and we'll see what kind of response we get. I probably shouldn't add. Remember, you son of a bitch, you work for me. Probably shouldn't add that part, but I mean it's true. And then I'm still looking for my Democrat. That's it. I'm done. I've said what I said to say. It may not have been coherent at times, but I hope you guys. I don't want you to enjoy this podcast. I want you to listen to it and I want you to think about it. Again, maybe not the most coherent, but the general ideas were there. I want you to think about the gravity of the current situation that we're in. And then I'm going to go play video games. A war one where we shoot the Taliban. So yeah, after this, I'm gonna stream. I'll play some games for a little bit, and yeah, we'll do like normal Wednesday streaming schedule for a little bit and hang out. I appreciate you guys listening, like always. It's been fun. Do the social thing, like, subscribe, do that stuff. You can find the podcast at anchor.fm/Dutch in Denver, iTunes, Dutch in Denver, Google, Dutch in Denver. Everywhere's Dutch in Denver. Except if you're on the Twitter and you want to follow one of my accounts, it's Dutch in Denver, but no I. We got some merch. You can wear your Dutch in Denver shirts. People are like, what is that? And you're like, it's the greatest podcast ever. And he's awesome at video games. And he's super good looking. And he's just a good guy. It's probably the best selling point. So, yeah, like I said, I appreciate you guys. Check out the socials. Do what you got to do. It's been fun. It's a sad day for America. Uh God, is it bad? But hey, we'll bounce back hopefully, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So, with that, as always, I will talk to you another time.